Hashtag no music, no intro. We are back. The Saints Block Party podcast presented and brought to you by Precious Works LLC. For your business website needs, reach out to our guy, Bajan. We are recording this on a Tuesday night, 15 days away.
Wednesday.
From 2000. Oh, is it Wednesday? Oh, see, this is.
My boy be working hard, man.
Hard, bro. Wednesday night, 15 days away from the 2026 NFL draft. I am recording this with my guy, my pal, Ryan. I am Adam, joined by Ryan, a.k.a. Wolf. We are the Saints Block Party podcast. If this is your first time stumbling upon our show, we have covered numerous things regarding the New Orleans Saints, from combines, from pro days, senior bowls, you name it, we have been on. Okay. Oh, sorry. All Gained gave us a $9.99 super chat. I'm going to read you the comment, Ryan. Read your comment.
Shout out to All Gain.
And I believe All Gain is also a SBP YouTube member.
Much love.
It says, Adam, even though you blocked me over a year ago from a Jameis Winston conversation years ago, I still love y'all podcast and look forward to it every week. Ryan, I love you, man. You know the vibes.
Much love.
All Game.
Much love.
Put your at in the chat, and I will unblock you during the podcast live. I will unblock you live during the podcast.
Disclaimer, just because you get unblocked don't mean you can't get reblocked. What's a fact?
Wolf. He's not wrong. But I'm coming in this bitch hobbled, hurt, my plantar fasciitis decided to just pop up on me today. Been hobbling around all day.
Jordan Tyson out here, man. Jordan Tyson.
Bro, if I had some sweats on right now, I would get up and walk and you would see it, bro. Like, I'm Jordan Tyson in the Texas Tech game, nigga. Been limping all day. Don't know if it was.
Sorry to hear, man.
Don't know if it was the amusement park on Sunday and all the walking around and standing. I don't know, but
probably it, man.
Probably. But we are here to talk about the Saints as we are 15 days away from the draft. Be like All Gained and be a member of our YouTube membership that starts at $4.99, or you become patreon.com/Saints Block Party. You can become a Patreon as low as $3 a month. And we wanted to just put this episode out for numerous reasons. One, we're going to talk about the Bryan Bresee fifth-year option picked up conversation, which was a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
And also talking about Saints prize draft picks to maybe brace ourselves for in 15 days. We talked, and if you've been following us, we've talked about the cloud, but that's just how this team does things, bro. Like, you know how they do, Wolf. You know how they do. So we want to talk about some potential Saints surprise draft picks that they could go at 8. I apologize that for this draft season, we really hadn't been able to dive deeper past the prospects at 8. We really haven't been able to dive potential at prospects at 42. Listen, the talking the draft and talking Saints in the draft, especially with them picking so high, is a very labor-intensive process. Hopefully next year we can maybe divert it a little bit, divert some times to, round 2, assuming they have 2027 second round pick next year. Just diversify it up. But let's start with Yannick said, what was you saying about James? Listen, is that really relevant right now?
We ain't got to go there. We ain't got
relevant right now.
We ain't got to bring that back. Don't bring that back old ghosts.
Oh shit. Why you got to bring up old shit? I would, it would not be us if we just didn't start this podcast. Just a quick detour in terms of what the person who runs this country put out on a social media post a couple of days.
I thought you was about to talk about Diana Rossini, bro.
Oh, bro, listen. We're friends with Jordan Rodriguez. Like, I can't be talking about Diana on the podcast. Wolf, like, we gotta keep it Keep it above
I feel you.
professional. Although it is since you brought it up, nigga, since you opened the door, it is wild the amount of blowback that she's getting. And Mike Grable,
It's cooling, bro.
Sean McVay, maybe even Sean Payton back in the day. You don't hear a peep, bro. You don't hear a peep. It's cold, bro. It's cold. It's wicked.
Game's cold, boy.
Wicked.
Oh.
So All Gain said, I said Jameis on a cheap deal was a better option than Russell Wilson a few years ago. Turns out I might have been right. Might have been.
Yeah.
Might have been. Hashtag he won. But
well,
I was just
side note, that just speaks to the poverty we were just impoverished, brother. The arguments we were getting in during that time, just like, I'm good.
Jarvis said blowback. Great choice of words. Hey, cut it out.
Whoa.
I just wanted just a quick detour in the quote unquote leader of the United States literally said on a social media post that he would wipe out an entire civilization, Ryan.
And on Easter Sunday, I can't even.
Oh, boy. Like I get it. Like, this is people's escape. They don't want to listen to this podcast and like be reminded of the world, but like this is also just the world that we live in.
Yeah,
like, we can't escape it because this is what the world is right now. And I just want to be true to ourselves and not be silent when all this shit going on, because this fucking affects everybody, literally everybody. So it's just extremely, I don't even have words for it. And maybe, and I'm not trying to put myself into the situation and make it about me, but like maybe, you know, a younger Adam wouldn't have realized like the impact of what was going on, but now having a partner that is Persian, like it's additional levels to the situation where it's just like I don't even know I don't even recognize this country anymore, bro. Like bro. As someone who, we are both black people who have lived in America, and even us are like, God damn.
Bro, like even some of the worst presidents that we've ever had at least put on the farce of like dignity and like, you know, just like even Bush would say stuff. Hey, Islam is a religion of peace and stuff like that, while bombing them to smithereens. But he would say that stuff because look, we're not trying to go to war with like 1.5 billion people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a huge, like we're not. And the stuff he's saying, like Trump, just like, and people like there's a section of people that just love it. Like they just like,
yes,
like hell yeah, he talking like one of us. Yeah, it's like.
Anyway,
I just rub my head, bro. Like, where are we?
I don't know.
Reboot, please. We hold the power button on the computer, just like a hard boot. Just hold it down.
Disconnect me from the Matrix, man. I don't know what is fucking happening. Sorry, I had to start the podcast off like that. And also, like, if we lose like a couple of like subscribers and Patreons because of what we say, like, I honestly don't give two shits. Like, I really don't. But let's transition and actually talk about the Saints. And let's start with the news. The Bryan Bresee thing was interesting to me. So Underhill announced this morning that the Saints were picking up Bryan Bresee's fifth-year option. Initially, going into the season, I was pretty skeptical that they would, because the fifth-year option for a defensive tackle to be picked up is $13 to $14 million, in that range, right? And you pointed this out late last season, And then it became very obvious to a lot of people, of just people like in our Discord, we're watching the game together. People are in our live streams, we're watching the game together. It also became very evident to the Saints that when Bryan Bresee got hurt and he wasn't in the lineup, magically the run defense for the Saints improved tremendously. Like it was night and day. And to the point that the team noticed it. And so I get the part of it being like with the 5th-year option, like it's and how it's structured, it makes a lot of sense to do it for most players. However, Bryan Bresee at this point in his career is a borderline starter, like legitimately like a borderline starter. So it was a little surprising for them to pick up his option. But on the flip side, who else are they going to spend that money on? How much is sunken cost fallacy included in this, where they're just hoping that he becomes the player that they think he can be? So anyhow, those are my thoughts. But what were your thoughts when you saw that his option was picked up?
Pretty much that. I just immediately thought sunken costs. Like, you invested a first-round pick. I mean, he would create a hole. Like, if you lose him after this year, that's kind of similar to Alante.
Alante, I was about to say, yeah.
It's like, you could argue like how good is he and all that stuff, but it's a hole. So it's like, it's just one of those things where I can understand it from their point of view as, okay, this is a player we've invested a lot of time in, who's shown flashes. It's not like he's a bum out there. You know what I'm saying? He's shown plenty of flashes. So it's like, let's just keep investing and hope the return is worth it. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense from that point of view. I personally would have tried, and they still could do this. Like, they still could like work out an extension while he's on a 5th-year option. Say he has like a solid season, like just a good solid season. They could work out something like long term, and having his rights for another year would give them that flexibility and that leeway instead of him just hitting free agency. And then it's like, oh, well, what are we going to do? So I get it. I get it from their perspective. It's just interesting, just him as a player in general, where he was selected, his trajectory, just kind of, like the sacks are there, like you got the numbers, the pressure numbers look pretty good and stuff like that, but you want more. You want more. Yes. And I guess the question is, like, will you be a pass rush specialist, rotational player, or will you be like a actual 3-down D lineman, that's a starter and like a central piece of the core going forward? Like, that's the question that I think we just got to find out.
Is Bryan Bresee the defensive tackle version of Alante Taylor?
It's a good question, bro. I think so. I think he's got it in that realm right there,
Where like their similarities as players are very they match up a lot, just in regards to
splashy,
like when you're like, there it is, there it is, but the amount of consistency is not there. It's not. And you've said this often about Bryan Bresee, but man, is like, I could just, like you've said, just see him having a Sheldon Rankins career arc to his career where he leaves the Saints and then becomes just like this goddamn good, solid defensive tackle for almost every other team in the league except the Saints.
Except the Saints. You just watching Sunday Night Football. Look at Bryan Bresee, man. Chris Collinsworth, like, oh man, he sure is providing impact for the Texans.
Bro, I can just see it so much, Wolf. It just give it 2-3 years. It's bound to happen. He gonna be making plays for Dan Campbell in Detroit or some shit like that, bro. Like exactly. I just feel it. I also wonder that, and obviously I haven't heard anything on this front. I know that before free agency started, that the Saints, I don't know if they had conversation with the Commanders around Daron Payne, or if they just wanted to initiate those conversations. But I also wonder, and who knows, like the draft is 2 weeks away. Sometimes a lot of player trades, happen during the draft. I wonder if one, if they were able to trade for Daron Payne, if that were to change their perception of Bryan Bresee. Because like the defensive tackle position on the team is still like it's a need. Like it is not a strength.
Purely not a strength, bro. Not a strength at all. Then you had the news come out about what's his name from the Giants? Dexter. Yeah.
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence. That he's kind of demanding a trade, which, it's contract stuff. It's that time of the season. Who knows what happens, but it was one of the things where like, And it's just a lot to it. It's a lot to it because it's a draft pick. He's injured, coming off injury.
Would you give up 42 for Dexter Lawrence?
Man, that's a tough. It's hard to ask that question 2 weeks before the draft because we look at every pick
I'm asking
at every pick like it's gold, bro. I'm in love with my picks right now, bro. I love my picks.
Can't do it, bro.
Can't do it them right now, man.
Now, after the draft, if maybe you could slide the Giants a 2027 third round pick and they take that, I don't know. Hold on. Kyle Lusher asks, how likely is it that the Saints take a defensive tackle in the first 3 rounds?
3 rounds. I could see it.
Yeah,
I could
too. Here's the thing. I've almost done a complete 180 on this player just in terms of potentially where he could get drafted. But if you could tell me that the Saints could get Peter Woods at 42, as much as we done drug his name,
we done shit on him that we get him at 42, we're gonna be like, yeah, Peter Woods.
Yeah. Then we gonna have to do like another prospect of the week for Peter Woods, where it's more pop. Saints fans will be listening to this after he drafted at 42, like, what have we done? And then you listen to it, it's like, if he was a pick at 8, but like anyway. So, Brock, this is in regards to Dexter Lawrence. I'd give up 2/3, but I can't do 42. The thing that worries me about Dexter Lawrence is 2 things. One, he's older. Well, technically it's 3 things. One, he's older. 2, he returned and he played last season, but last season he was coming off an injury. His play was not good at all last season. Like, it was not good. 3rd is the contract. So, it's a lot easier to justify paying a player paying a player more who's coming off a good or great season, right? Mm-hmm. That is a lot easier to justify. But then to pay a player who is coming off a down season and he wants more money, and then you kind of have to do it sight unseen because then you're just banking on, well, maybe he's going to get to how he like the dominant player that he was two years ago prior to the injury.
Yeah,
that's a lot of ifs, bro.
It is, man. It is. I don't know. It just don't got the right feel for me.
No, neither me. Kyle Lusher regarding the defensive tackles said Lee Hunter, eyes emoji. Caleb Proctor, eyes emoji. I just want, at this point in this draft, I just want good players. Just good players.
That's it.
Now, good segue to then go into potential surprise players that the Saints could draft at 8. So, if you've been following our podcast, we have it up on patreon.com. We have it up on the YouTube member. It is a video where Ryan and I talk about the Saints Cloud. That is the players that I have been told have been sourced that are in the Saints Cloud to potentially be the pick at 8. I think there's 7 players? I don't know. Off the top of my head. 7 players. Go and listen to that. It is set to release to everyone the day after the first night of the draft. So it's going to release on YouTube, the full version. Like, it will be not non-YouTube member only after that. However, just because that's the cloud, sometimes what happens is that teams' clouds tend to change even if the draft process is getting closer. So let's start with the offensive player. So our guy Tony Pauline of essentially sports put out in his mock draft and in a news blurb this week about the Saints potentially could draft Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq at 8. Also, the blurb indicated that the Saints are really heavily wanting to add tight ends and wide receivers in this draft. If you've been listening to our podcast, I have been hammering this point like over the head that one of the goals for this offseason is adding juice. We saw it with free agency with them, signing Travis Etienne and then Noah Fant, although I don't know how much I would consider Noah Fant juice, but it is you can tell it is such a goal for this team to add juice. The amount of time that they've spent on visits and meeting with players, offensive players, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers. I legitimately have never seen them spend so much time with so many offensive players. The question then becomes, when do they add juice? Like that's one of my first questions. Is it because if you want to add juice I'm not saying you can't add juice in like round 3 and later and not good players. You can. But if you really want to address the whole juice thing, to me, that means you are adding something within the first 2 rounds of the draft. So even if you go defense in round 1, 42, got to be juice in some type of way.
Got to be juice.
Tony Pauline also talked about the team potentially maybe being interested in Elijah Surratt, Indiana wide receiver, maybe like a round 3 pick I think they pick at 72, 73. So the Kenyon Sadiq thing is interesting because he is not in those group of players in terms of the cloud that I had heard. What was just your first impression about potentially the Saints drafting Kenyon Sadiq, Oregon tight end, at 8 overall?
Not my favorite player at all. And I don't hate him. Like it's not like but I guess kind of similar to Peter Woods, where like at 42, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now we talking. But when I watch him, I don't see like a first round tight end. Like I just don't see that. You know what I'm saying? And he's juiced up. Don't get me wrong. Like, he is juiced up, cut up, killed the combine, made a bunch of plays for Oregon and stuff like that. Highlight reels is awesome. He actually does block, believe it or not.
He does.
So, like, I think there's some good stuff there, but I guess just for me, I don't know. Okay.
So this is graphic for Kenyon Sadiq. So he had 8 touchdowns last year, 51 catches. One thing, so after this news came out, I dived into his all 22 like a sicko the morning before work yesterday, bruh. And the first thing that stood out to me is his positional versatility of all the different spots he lined up on the field for Oregon. I immediately thought, not saying that he's going to be the pick at 8, but if he was the pick at 8, I completely understood. I would understand it in terms of the vision of why potentially Kellen would fell in love with him as a player. And what I mean by that is the first game I watched, the first place he was lined up was in the running back position next to Dante Moore. You saw him lined up in the running back position. You saw him lined up out wide. You see him lined up in line. He moves all over the formation. He's very he's kind of like the Joker of the offense, just moving, just how he's deployed. And I really thought okay, if he is the pick at 8, I at least get the vision of it, even though player-wise, I don't love him as a player.
Which is funny because remember the Saints did have interest in Tyler Warren last year,
and that's exactly what he did.
And even though he's kind of a different player, build-wise, from a deployment standpoint,
yes,
he was that mismatch, just move, just do all kind of stuff with him. Use that, and I think Kellen wants that. Kellen wants that.
Yes, he does.
Look, it looks like Taysom Hill. Not saying disclaimer. I am not saying Sadiq is Taysom Hill. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying with Taysom Hill most likely gone, I think Kellen wants that type of player that I could just move around. I could do all kind of things with, mismatch nightmare. Like I think, and Sadiq, he kind of fits that role.
He does.
So I think, that's kind of where the smoke is coming from, wherever, Pauline is hearing whatever he's hearing,
100%. So when we're talking about these surprise picks on this episode, these are essentially going to be like very mini prospect of the week episodes, just a succinct version of us kind of talking about these players in a nutshell. I was a much better blocker in line than I thought going in, like much better. Like there are some blocks he does in the run game where he is digging in there and getting into it. Like he would easily become the best or second best blocking tight end on the team. Like now, as I do, Cole said his frame needs to get bigger because he's going to be blocking against bigger players in the NFL. But like just the effort is better than Juwan. The thing that just worries me, if just as a player, is as fast and athletic as he is. Man, it just like I don't see it on film.
Right.
I don't see the athletic freak on the film. Like there are some times where he'll blow by like the linebacker down the seam, or like the safety on the seam.
Straight speed, like you see that, but it's like that freaky. You don't see like when I saw his I didn't watch him until like after the combine. I saw how he blew with the combine. I was like, well, let me look at this dude, man. And then you look at him and it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like cool, but you would expect when you see him, you would expect just some freaky, like, man, I never seen a tight end like this. Like, Kyle Pitts, even though he just didn't turn out good a player, he was doing some freaky stuff at Florida. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa,
freaky.
Like, this dude is freaky. I just didn't see that with Sadiq, like,
You don't see it with Sadiq. Even, I'll put this out there. He's not a better tight end prospect than either tight end that got drafted in round 1 last year with Colston Loveland and Tyler Ward. Like if his tape was anything like I saw with Colston Loveland when I really dug into Colston Loveland's tape at Michigan when he was at Michigan, Colston Loveland consistently won and beat his matchups, against when he was at Michigan, whether it's linebacker, safety, you could see it wasn't just the scheme that was getting him open. Right. He was winning those matchups with his athleticism. You don't really see that with Sadiq. Now, that's not to say that he can't be successful because Kellen could team him up and blah, blah. Not saying that. But if you're investing a top 10 pick in a tight end, that tight end needs to be like so supremely athletic, which Sadiq is, but like the eye test, like he just doesn't pass the eye test to me.
Yeah, that's a red flag for me. It would also just be funny because the Saints just don't invest in tight ends at all in the draft. No. At all.
They drafted 4. They have drafted 4 in 20 years. And then I know like Jeff Duncan would be like, well, look at Juwan Johnson. He was an undrafted free agent. Like, shut the fuck up. But there's a point I was gonna make. Let me get back. Is it gonna come back to me? No, I don't think it is. Gone. Just old age. Oh, I know what it was. I'll give you who. So Eric Ebron, we brought the name Eric Ebron with Kenyon Sadiq before.
I get mad.
I'm gonna throw another name at you. Not so much him in college, but just how his NFL career ended up. O.J. Howard.
Ooh, that's a good one. Because you expected like...
Yes.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
And I think one of the most telling things to me about Sadiq as a player is that when I watched Oregon games, I was fawning over the backup tight end more than I was for Kenyon Sadiq. Like Johnson, who went back to... If you would have told me that if Johnson would have declared for this upcoming draft, and you could tell me that the Saints could have drafted him at 42, or if a team drafted him late first round, like I think Johnson, if he declared for this draft, would be the best overall tight end in the entire class. Like he made plays, and he just every time I watched Oregon games, Johnson was just making incredible plays and just felt like a better overall tight end prospect to me than Sadiq is. All that to say, like, it would be hilarious for a podcast that we've been podcasting for almost 6 years, and we've been streaming Juice, and they finally pulled the trigger for Juice, and it's Kenyon Sadiq at 8, bro. Wouldn't that be some shit? Like,
that would be some shit right there, bro.
Here you go. Enjoy.
Here, damn.
And I said in our Discord, I said for the first week, I'd be annoyed and just rolling my eyes about it. And then week 2, here I'd be talking myself into it. Like, well, then if you know, like if you put them on the end line, and then you got Juwan on the other line, and you put
motion over here. Like, we could cook something now, you know.
And you know Chuck love utilizing the tight ends. He throws over the middle, like he could cook with
intermediate.
Can already hear it, Wolf. Can already hear it. But we're going to ask our guy Tony Pauline more about Kenyon Sadiq. We're planning to record a podcast with him on Monday. Not next Monday. It's upcoming Monday, and talk about all things Saints, draft, prospects, all that. So that's going to be on a Monday show. It's probably not going to be live streamed, so we're probably going to record it and then upload it to YouTube and to our Patreon and all that. So let's take our break of the show, and then we're going to come back and talk more prospects that could be surprise picks for the Saints right after this break. Yo, what up, Wolf? What are you looking at?
Man, I'm checking out this website. This site is cheeks, bro.
In the 21st century? How do you have a crappy website? Couldn't be me.
They need to hit up our guy Bijan with Precious Works. Precious Works offers to not only build you a website that's tailored to you and your customers' needs, but also to continue to manage and maintain it so you can focus on your business. Don't have much time? Precious Works is just what you need. No out-of-the-box stuff like Squarespace or Wix. Precious Works will create a site for you. You won't have to worry about plugin updates, security, or things like that because Precious Works will maintain all of that and be available to you 24/7. Bijan set up Saints Block Party Podcast website for us a few years ago and hit it out the park. He also keeps it up to date and helps us anytime we want to add something new like a form or the prospect matching tool that we did for the NFL draft. It's like having your own personal developer just a text or a call away. Precious Works has worked with everyone from small businesses to large firms, so no job is too big or too small. If you're in need of a website or you currently have one, but you want to upgrade it, give Bijan a holler at Precious Works. You can get with him at Bijan at Precious Works, BIJON at precious.works, or go to precious.works for his website. Make sure to tell him Saints Block Party sent you.
We are back. Our guy Vander Broski said, it's funny if you compare Sadiq and Noah Fant's measurables and testing numbers, they're very similar. That's also like a good comp because I remember Noah Fant as a prospect was very highly thought of to be like, you know, a really good tight end prospect. In the NFL, he's been fine. Like he's been okay.
But he was.
We currently have 55 concurrent viewers, 134 views. We appreciate y'all for watching. Let's talk about this next prospect. Oh boy. Dramad McCoy.
Just feel it in the air, bro.
Cornerback, Tennessee. All this time, we thought maybe Mansour Delane in play at 8. It would be the most Saints thing ever for them to draft a cornerback that missed all of last season with the torn ACL.
Whole damn season, bro. Bro, when I saw when he did his pro day a while back, and I saw him blow it away, I said, "Hold up now,
hold up now, wait a minute.
Let me just circle back and see what's going on." And then I just thought about it, like I can completely see that. Like that's just such a Saints pick. Us just sitting there waiting on a pick, and we just know it's gonna be this guy, that guy that is like. Dramad McCoy, whoa! And we like, what?
Listen, the the first someone put it in their mock, but it really caught my attention. Hearing Dale and Jeremiah move the sticks, talking to Mina Kimes, and they did like the all-team mock draft, and he gave the Saints McCoy at 8. DJ has typically had a pretty good read on the Saints, even dating back to last year, in one of his, Q&As that he does, which are insane. Like he was, and it's a question that we asked, he was just very confident that the Saints Kellen Moore would address, the trenches coming from Philadelphia. And sure enough, at pick 9, Kevin Banks Jr., Texas. So I tend to listen very closely to what DJ says about the Saints. But the thing that's interesting about McCoy is that the position makes sense. Like, they need a corner. They need a corner. The thing that's very interesting to me about McCoy, as I load up his info sheet, is I don't know how much he fits Brandon Staley's system.
I don't either.
Because both you and I watched the 2 games that were available of him, of all 22. And they're like, and it's funny too, because if you like one game, I was like, if these niggas touch McCoy at 8, I'm gonna be incensed. That was the Ohio State game.
Ohio State, yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Jeremiah Smith is different, bro. Like, I was watching that game, and all I could just see was just Jeremiah Smith being dominant. But the Alabama game in 2024 against Tennessee, I 100% understood the hype of him as a player. He had a sensational game against Alabama.
Bro. He was outstanding. Outstanding. He's a good corner, bro. Like that. He and this is not like to knock the lane, but like you see him play is like, okay, like that's like a top 10, top 15, high first round pick cornerback that you pick and you say, okay, you go be my CB1. You know what I'm saying? Like he was dripping that, especially in that Alabama game. The Ohio State game, I was like, what's wrong? Like, I know they was getting boat raced. They was getting beat to smithereens. And it's hard to play like that sometimes. Like, but that was a tough watch. But that Alabama game showed me like the potential he has. And I just know, I know Jeff Ireland, bro. Like, I know the type of corners he like, boy.
That part
I know the type of corners he like, boy. He like them types.
We both do. He does.
He like them types, boy.
And McCoy, and I'm going to say a very bold statement, even though like I haven't watched every corner in the draft. I would be shocked if there is a better corner in the draft that has the mirroring matching capabilities that he has. Like, that's his elite trait. Where like I watched it and I was like, like it made me fan myself a little bit. My question then goes though. One of his you could easily tell this, especially in the Ohio State game, but it also showed up in the Alabama game too. Zone coverage is not his skill set.
No,
it is not his forte. He gets lost in zones. A lot of plays are converted by him where he's having like a lapse in the zone. They're not like huge.
Yeah, but he looks like he just don't know what's going on when in some of those zone plays. Like, it's like, over here. Where I go?
Brandon Staley ran zone in the secondary over 70% of last year. Now maybe they ran more zone because they didn't have 100% faith of who was on the outside. But that's the thing where I find extremely fascinating. I was told this this week that McCoy potentially might be the first corner off the board. DJ said the same thing, by the way.
Yeah.
It would not even shock me that he might go as high. I just can't get the Giants out of my head of a team that could draft McCoy.
And look, this happens almost every year. There's just a player that just like rises out of nowhere. It seems
Peyton
like
Turner, baby. Well, what?
Oh, sorry. We see it almost every year, bro. Where it's just like, what? But then you look closely at it, and it's like, oh, okay, we get it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happened. And he's that player. Look, he missed the whole last season. And you know, if he wasn't hurt this past season, maybe you see him improve in zone coverage and stuff like that. He's 20 years old, Adam. He's 20.
Ooh.
So he's a young player dripping with like athleticism and talent and all that stuff. So you could easily see what, especially in this draft that's like doesn't have like a lot of elite players. You could see why a few teams would just be like, And with Brandon Staley, it's like, yeah, he plays 70% zone, but you know, maybe he wants a guy that he could say, okay, we press man over here. This side we run in, you know, cover 4, cover 6 or whatever, and we're going to press him up over here. So maybe somebody like, he'll look at McCoy like, man, this gives me more keys. This gives me more ways to just switch it up, you know?
Bruh, you said that in my first thought, and this is going to sound bad as hell, bro. I was like, man, do we have enough smart players in the defense that can execute that?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
But that's a very complex, like, called defense where you, like, half the field is running men and the other half is maybe in, like, a cover 6 or cover, like, whoo, that's a complicated scheme.
Yeah, bro. But I could see Staley wanting to do that, man, you know, and they really, and the defense needs speed so bad. Just needs speed and need some guys like that. So it just wouldn't surprise me. It's not the pick that I would want. You know, it's not the one that I would look for. But I would understand it. It's just, man, like with all these plays, like for me, the Saints really need to be approaching pick 8 as like, let's get a good, I can't say a for sure thing, but like, let's just hit this one. Like, let's hit this number 8 pick. Like, let's get a good player that's going to come in and contribute and be like a part of this team and a part of this core. Like, we don't need to gamble on players that missed a whole year or there's, you know, like Tyson has a ton of injuries or stuff like that. Like, you could do that second round, third round, stuff like that. Take those chances. First round, let's get this one right. Let's just get it right. It's a solid grade. You know how like on the draft boards, like they put stickers next to like might have like a red cross next to an injured player, or they might have a character issue sticker next to a player. Like, let's just get some clean players at 8. Just clean. Those stickers next to them. Just at 8. After that, then we can get a little freaky. We can get a little freaky after that. But let's just, at 8, let's keep it missionary. You know what I'm saying? Like, just lights on. You know, lights off.
There are the things that, one of the things when watching McCoy that bothered me, bothers not maybe a little strong. Like his run defense is ass.
Right. He didn't want no part of it.
None.
Just didn't want part of it. Like, and I'm over here. Y'all here over there.
Another thing that stood out is like if there was like a swing pass or something coming in his direction and he's getting blocked by the opposing wide receiver, he's not getting off that block.
Yeah,
he's
not going, bro.
Getting off that
He needs a ton of
block.
work, bro. He needs a ton of I don't think he would be like a day one starter. Put it like that. Like I don't think you like just line him up and like we did Lattimore. Lattimore week 1. Line up. Go play. I forgot who he faced week 1 against Minnesota. Go line up and play. But you know what? What's funny about that with Lattimore? Was it Thielen? I think. I don't know. But what's funny about that, what drove us crazy with Lattimore early was they would play him in zone so much, and that was not his strength. Remember? Like,
yes.
Like he was a press man corner, mirror match, period. And they would put him in zone, and then he'd get beat, and then everybody would be like, oh, he's getting beat. It's like, got the man in zone, put them in man-to-man where he wins at. And I could see that being like the talking point for McCoy, like early in his career. Like, why are you playing in this like 8 yards off, blah, 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 blah. You know?
Because when you look at McCoy in press man, it was a
I was looking, I was like, I'm watching him downfield, and he's like this on his guys. All the way downfield, like no separation. I'm like, ooh.
I know Jeff Ireland, and they're like,
yes.
Oh, that's a little thick. Let me. Boy, I know they hate our podcast, bro. We just kidding, Jeff. We just kidding,
just
Jeff.
clowning, bro.
Bro. My mom wasn't a hoe. All right, relax, calm down, Jeff. All gain with another $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you, brother.
Much love.
Did you put your @ in the chat so I can unblock you? I want to make sure I do that before the podcast over. A lot of recent mocks has Bane going to the Saints, but I just can't see Ireland wanting a player of his frame at 8 overall pick. I don't know about y'all. It's just I'll say this. Well, here's one thing. One, Bane did not do any like athletic profile testing all draft season, which 100% is still in the state. I understand it. So Jay is going to start compiling the combine data and everything. I think she's actually compiling it like right now as I'm recording. And we're going to dive into this prospect matching tool exercise for this draft season. Even without the athletic measurables, I can almost guarantee you that he won't even meet their metrics on like height, weight, anything. Like he's just not just for a defensive end. But and he is not a player I've heard that is in their cloud. But going to Ryan's point, talking about a good, clean player.
Clean, bro.
That's Ruben Bane, bro. Like I have my hiccups about him that arises here and there, and I think that's more tied to his athletic profile. But if you just strictly judge him by his tape, is a clean, good ass defensive end prospect. To me, is he like a top 10 defensive end talent? No. Like if the Saints were drafting him at 15 overall, I'd feel much more comfortable.
If he went where Cam Jordan got drafted, what 24, something like that.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. But like this, like that's the thing with this draft is like this kind of draft. Like these are the players. I was going to ask you this question regarding McCoy. Again, we watched 2 games of him, but him versus Mansour Delane, who are you saying is CB1 in this draft?
I still go Delane just from like my preference with corners. I like corners that are really good technicians, and Delane is like a really good technician, bro. Like he's a good technical cornerback. Zone, man, press, all mirror, all that. Like he is very astute. You know, he leaves some wanting from like an athletic standpoint. And McCoy beats him out in all those areas. He got the height. McCoy got the height, all that stuff. Delane doesn't got that, but just from a technician standpoint, I like Delane. But like as far as like potential, like to me, like McCoy has the higher ceiling. Like
100%.
4 years from now, you could see him being, you know, defensive player of the year, all pro, Pro Bowl, whatever, like in competition for those type of, you know, Christian Gonzalez and all that stuff, the competition for that type of talk. Whereas I think Delane will be considered like a really good corner, but, you know, might not get the accolades, you know, that the real top corners get. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I agree with you. Like, and this is for someone who like doesn't love Mansour Delane as a prospect, but I just feel just his overall game, you know, makes him CB1. But just like you hit on the head, like I just feel like McCoy's ceiling is like there is some matching that happened in that Bama game that reminded me of like Derek Stingley at LSU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Like
seriously,
like it was that good. Like I'm not trying to say he's a Derek Stingley type of prospect. I'm not.
I know what you're saying, bro. Because I remember when Stingley was a freshman, I was like, golly, this dude is good. You know, you could just see some corners that like, this is a good damn corner. But but I worry about him like is he one of those guys that's kind of like just inconsistent? Like because you watch the Ohio State game and he's like, okay, yeah, you get beat by number 4. Like that's just going to happen. And then look, I will commend him later in that game. 2 goal line targets that he defended well. He got flagged for 1, but he defended well. So
that other flag was kind of meh. Like I didn't, but
I don't know, but that I could just see, I could see it, bro. Like I could see that being the Saints pick, man. Like I could see just like Brandon Staley, Jeff Ireland walking up to Kellen, like, man, look, on my corner, bro. Like, we gonna get your juice. We gonna get your juice. But this cornerback right here, Kellen ain't gonna put up no fight, bro. Kellen ain't.
No, bro. I would just prefer, and I think the positional value will just overall win. To me, Caleb Downs is a better prospect than like both of them, and it's not. Yes. And it's not even particularly like close to me.
Come on now. Talk about a clean prospect. Whew. Get clean Downs, bro.
Mia said, "Thank you for the $9.99 super chat." No, that's like a breadcrumb to you. Let's talk about Zane Durant at 42. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Not talking about no damn Zane Durant.
Not doing it. Dante said, "Man, this is terrifying because it feels like they're overthinking this draft pick at 8. Too much time is on the table until the draft."
We didn't mention they did bring in Cardell Tate this week for a 30 visit.
They did.
That was interesting to me.
Very.
Like that was just notable. This late, like to bringing him this late, is like they're kind of like trying to double check something or like let's circle back and make sure or something like that, you know?
Like that visit to me screams, have we missed something?
Right. Because they met with him at the Combine. They went to the Ohio State Pro Day, which, you know, the entire Saints contingent was there. And you bringing him for a 30 visit? It's like let's make sure, like before we whatever, like let's just make sure all our I's are dotted, T's are crossed or whatever. I just found that very fascinating.
Extremely. Saints Talk NY, that's all gain. You are now unblocked. Done. Live unblocking happened. Boom.
Oh, it's Saints Talk. I'm bored, man.
Yeah. Kevin said, Mia type of wealth using $10 to have the guys talk about her husband. Wow.
Zane being them DMs, I don't care what nobody says.
Oh, this is a good one, Brock. Brock said, my official Dramad McCoy comp after watching 1 minute of highlight video is Jack Rabbit.
Brock, I swear to God, like that popped in my head.
Did it really?
Against Alabama, I was like, damn, he got a little Jackrabbit to him. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And I was saying that before he got that pick. And then when he got that pick, I was like, oh, that's Jackrabbit right there. Underrated cornerback for the Saints. Jack
very much.
He had a good season with us, bro.
It broke my heart that he had a pick 6 in week 1 during the COVID season, and like the dome was empty.
Yeah.
I can't remember who they were playing.
Damn, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, and it was just sad, bro. Like a legitimate pick 6, and the dome was empty because of COVID, because it was in 2020. Brock said, I'm hopeful that they're just blowing smoke, playing the game, putting as many names as there's possible, and they really just love Downs, Lemon, Love, or whoever. I do think that they still love those players.
They're just preparing for everything, man. The draft,
which is smart. This episode is going to go a tad longer than I intended it to, because I did not expect us to go this long. One thing I did want to hit on, that Jordan Schultz reported that there could be a flurry of trades in this draft, which I feel like is said every draft season. But then before we start recording, I got a text message that's because I had sent some odds to a friend of mine, you know, some odds, maybe I put some, and was told that because there's so much talk of teams right now getting calls for trades, the odds, there's no telling with the odds. I was told that every team from 2 to 13 right now are getting a huge influx of calls for teams that are willing to trade.
Interesting. And that goes to why the Saints need to look closely at a lot of people, because maybe they trade down. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they trade down. They got to know what happens when Sadiq's on the board or McCoy or whatever. They got to know what to do, know these players really well in case they trade down, which I still don't. I would have to see it to believe it for it to happen.
You need to see it, bro.
That type of draft could be. We'll see.
Could be. Kevin said live unblocking. Yeah, the world for sure will end very soon. So no, I've done unblocking before. Oh yeah, it was against the Bucks. Yeah. Big Tom Brady. Bro, what a time that was. Woof. Anyhow, let's talk about the last player in this batch of surprise picks. Your favorite player, your favorite guy, your guy. Francis Moanoa. Listen, Wolf, I'm not advocating for it. I'm not advocating for it. But there's a part of me that also has to see this team not draft O-line in round 1 before I believe it didn't happen. This has been my dark horse pick for months. For months. I've not even heard that he's in their cloud. But for them to draft a player and then put him at guard, because essentially that was probably who he would play guard, right guard. Would this pick be better for you if I could guarantee you that Cesar Ruiz would no longer be on the Saints?
No. That's just it doesn't help at all, bro. Like, so we drafted another first round O lineman to replace another first round O lineman that we took. Okay, that's just more Saints fuckery that I don't need, bro. I do not need more of this fuckery in my life. And I'm sure he's a good player, bro. Like, I have not watched a snap of him, and I am sure he is a very good player, but I'm good.
I'm just saying, in a vacuum of all the 3 players we've talked about, in a vacuum of him, McCoy, and Sadiq, in a vacuum, he's the best overall player of all 3, in my opinion. Because I watched him a little bit. I'm not. Also, why is he look black as hell in that picture? He don't even look. He don't look no parts Polynesian, bro. No parts Polynesian.
Yeah, I see all y'all look the same.
All right, Skynet, rude, but it's just one of those things where I just have to see it to believe it. Where they don't go O-line in the first round. I don't think they will.
I'm sure he meets all the metrics. 42 starts. I could 100% see them looking at him, and he's sitting there and say like there's been a run on some of the other players they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, look, man, we could just get him, and we have like arguably the best offensive line in the league.
In football.
Like, how many times y'all been saying that? How many times have y'all been saying that over the years? Who was it? Was it Warren Sharp or whoever? He tweeted teams that invested the most in the offensive line over the past, 5-10 years or whatever. And you know who was at the top.
You already know, bro.
You already know who was at the top.
Yes.
I can't take it. I can't take it.
That would be, of all the draft picks at 8, that would have to be one of the more, like, that would be so deflating, bro.
Deflating, bro. And then day 2, they probably go get a defensive tackle or some shit.
Bro, I leave New Orleans early, bro. I leave New Orleans early.
Get me out of here, man.
I leave on Friday, Wolf. Boy, Noah at 8, and then like Peter Woods at 42. I'll see y'all next year, nigga. Y'all take care. I'm not doing this to myself.
You're gonna add a little juice to the 4th round or something. Like, here, see.
Yeah, look, we got next card, guys.
There you go. Ask a dope.
I don't know this for sure, and I could have got the answer for it earlier this week. I chose not to, but I do think that when everything kind of comes of how it boils down, this is more of a guess and also kind of what I've heard in the past, but this is not any kind of recent information. I think it's potentially going to boil down for them for a cornerback at 8, whether that be Delane or McCoy, versus Mekhi Lemon, and potentially versus Jeremiah Love, if for whatever reason he still happens to be on the board at 8. And let me throw Caleb Downs in there. I don't know if they are still in love with Caleb as much. And I'm saying that their opinion of him has changed. I just think the thing that may keep them away from Caleb Downs isn't so much Caleb Downs as a player, but I would tend to guess that they may lean cornerback position value over safety position value, even though potentially like in a vacuum, Caleb Downs is a better pure prospect than both Delane and McCoy. So let's say it's 4 players. Let's say it's the combination of whoever CB1 is, Lemon, Love, Downs. I think that in terms of the person who's pushing the Lemon agenda, I think Kellen may have fell in love with Mekhi Lemon when he came in and for his private workout in New Orleans a week or two ago, whenever that was. Mm-hmm. I heard he blew like his workout and just everything that he did in New Orleans that day was tremendous. I heard. So I think Kellen may be like smitten with the idea of Mekhi Lemon. It's just going to be fascinating to see ultimately what wins out. Like what wins out.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is going to be super fascinating. I just hope so badly that it's like if we're surprised, it's like a good surprise. You know what I'm saying? I just want that feeling with my crew. We're gonna be at the Saints draft meetup, drinking, chilling, enjoying each other. I just want that feeling because last time we got it was what Chris Olave.
2022.
Like, come on, man.
Me, you, and Kevin, bro. And Kevin's brother.
Kevin. That's it. I would love that feeling again, bro.
I would too. Hold on. Let me catch up on the chat real quick before we get out of here. Tony said 2 things are true. Marino is a very good prospect. 2, I'm tired of first line O-line. Yes.
Please.
Kevin said, man, supposedly he went back to get his back injury examined in Indianapolis. That just makes him even more of a saint to me. Dante said, nothing tops Caden Ellis looking like Foskey. Almost left SPP that day. Wayne said Kellen fell in love with the way Mekhi looks into his soul. Louis Tangi said, gotta trust the picks after last year. I mean, listen, they hit on their picks last year. And that's the thing with 8 is that it'd be so hard to get it wrong. Like I know I say that, like we've said that. Like it's like in this draft, like it's hard.
It's hard to get it wrong.
Hard. You could it'd be like, oh, Sonny Styles. Hell yeah. Cool. Let's fucking roll. Like, you know what I mean?
I try to think of players that I would absolutely hate at 8. It's hard for me to come up with an answer. Like the closest one is Francis. And even then, I'd hate the pick. But it's still a good player. You know what I'm saying? Like
I would hate like Keldrick Falk. Like Keldrick Falk.
Like that's like the worst one. Like the Falk
have me irate.
I'm like, no. Like, no.
I have a curveball question for you. Would you hate Jordan Tyson?
No.
Even at 8?
Even at 8, I wouldn't hate that. Like, I would be worried, like... And the worry would never go away. It would always...
No.
Even if he's healthy throughout training camp, makes it the week 1 just pristine, I would be worried week 1 and week 2 and week 3. It would be a constant work. That's why I don't want it. I don't want any parts of that. Like, I don't.
No, bro.
I hope somebody else take them. Like, just please, somebody else just take that on. Because that would just stress me out, bro. Because, like, oh, man, like, as soon as he, lips off the field for whatever reason, it's like,
that Jordan Tyson starts the season on PUP, gonna feel like a shotgun blast in the chest, nigga.
Not spotting Jordan Tyson out here today. On the sideline.
Don said, I'll be watching every live on Sundays when the season starts. Please do. You hop in, become a Patreon. You can jump in the Zooms, bro. Mia said, if they get juice at 8, I'll fly in that Friday. And listen, if you know Mia, like...
She flying in.
Demon.99 said, what's y'all's thoughts on trading down and drafting the white safety out of Oregon. That's Dylan Denneman, I believe. And then picking Bell and Mike Washington. This is just not a class I'm willing to trade. This is me. I can't speak for Wolf. I would not trade down in this draft class because let me put the caveat. Unless someone is offering a 2027 first round pick, I am not trading down in this draft class because the chances of getting a blue chip prospect after a certain number in this draft mightily goes down. Mightily goes down. Like, they're in the right spot where they could get a true blue chip talent in this draft class, whether that's Love, Downs, Sonny Styles. To me, like, those are kind of blue chip draft prospects, and then it kind of gets a little lower after that. But, like, that's me. I can't speak for what, but I wouldn't.
For me, the best trade down that I would be cool with is like a couple spots with the Dolphins. They pick 11.
I was just about to say the Dolphins.
So they just hopped up there for, I don't know, whoever. I don't know. Maybe they want a corner. I don't know. I wouldn't mind, like, just dropping 2 spots, pick up an extra third or second or something like that. I fuck with that. But, like, I don't want to drop down too far where you're missing out on, all the good talent. Then we picking Kendrick Folk and stuff like that. It's like,
would riot, nigga. Would riot. Anyhow, just to give y'all the schedule for this upcoming week and next week. So, no prospect of the week this weekend. We'll be at a wedding in San Diego. So no prospect of the week this weekend. Next week, unless the schedule changes, Monday we are hoping to have Tony Pauline of Essentially Sports join us on Monday. Next Tuesday, if all works out, we're going to have our annual episode that we do with Matt Harmon, a Reception Perception, and Yahoo Sports next Tuesday. And then hopefully maybe sometime next week, the draft prospect matching project will be finished for this draft cycle. I'll hopefully be able to write an article this year, hopefully, fingers crossed, and then we'll do our Patreon only and YouTube member only episode talking about the prospects that have matched with the Saints, and even the prospect that didn't match with the Saints in terms of the draft profile. So that's the tentative schedule for next week and going forward. We might do one more prospect of the week next weekend. I don't know who that, we'll throw out name. We'll put names in the Patreon of who that final player should be. But we've already kind of essentially done McCoy. He only had 2 games for us to watch. We've done Kenyon Sadiq a little bit. So maybe like Sonny, I'll put the options for it to be Sonny Styles, Bane. I don't know who the third person would be, but we'll probably do one final prospect of the week episode. But we appreciate
Concepcion.
Guy. You talk about juice right there, bro. You talking about
guy
juice
right there.
Demon.99. If Bane is, I guess you mean if Bane and Downs, who do y'all want? And Man the Fez was out on Mike Vrabel and Rossini, huh? It's like, it's not even close. Like, we have our clouds, but there are not many prospects. There's only one prospect in this draft that I have over Caleb Downs, and that's David Bailey. Wolf has Bailey over Downs, but Bailey over Downs, and then Love over Bailey. So Caleb Downs is one of our favorite prospects in the entire draft. Like, I still just remember watching his tape and just making noises about a safety making plays. Like, that just doesn't happen, bro. It just doesn't happen. So there aren't many better players in this draft to us than Caleb Downs. And it really feels like he's going to be there at 8. It just depends on if the Saints are going to pull that trigger on him or not.
Yeah, man. It's a crazy range he could go. Crazy range.
He can go from like 5, it feels like he can go from like 4 through like 15, 16.
Right.
Which is an insane range. But anyhow, we will have plenty of content and episodes coming y'all's way. We appreciate the support. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. With that, we are out.
Peace.